Hey, what's going on, everyone? Figured I would go live, see what's going on in the world today. Got a lot going on out there. Basically, I just got tired of trying to get my video editor software working, and it wasn't, so I just gave up on it. It's the struggles of content creation and dealing with technology. So, gotta love it. It's one of the worst things out there. As a guy who works in tech, and it's soul sucking, really. Absolutely soul sucking. Mm-hmm. See if anybody wants to join. Just hanging out, looking at what's going on in the world. What do we have as far as spot price today? Probably should have pulled that up. Haven't looked today. Let's see. The mouse is going nuts. Gold 47.56. Silver $94. Wow. Can't seem to get above that 95.50. Hit it a couple times and brought right back down. We'll have that, I guess. Not much happening today on my end. Just hoping to get into some discussions. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to trade silver for gold, or if I just wanted to stop buying silver and direct that money towards gold. Emerald Coast Stacker, what's going on? Good afternoon. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday afternoon. Just figured I'd get on a live stream and rant a little bit about editing software not working as opposed to making a video. Tried restarting the computer a bunch of times. Tried reinstalling the app. Nothing was working, so accepted defeat and called it quits. Mustard and biscuits. Hello, friend. It's looking like every clue we get, we're looking more guilty and guilty. Team Rural Biscuits may have done it. Yeah. Technology, man. As a guy who works in the tech sector, I've said for years that it's a soul-sucking job. Something about staring at screens all day just, yeah, it sucks the life right out of you. I don't know, maybe give it a break, let it take a nap, and it'll start working again later. I don't know. I give up. Yeah, EMPs. That's a good thing to talk about, right? You can go anywhere. I mean, in my prepping scenario, right? I think if you prepare for an EMP, you basically cover almost all of the other scenarios, with the exception of, maybe a natural disaster like a flood or a fire or something, tornado. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of people reliant on tech, and it is very scary. I mean, I think it was, I forget whose live I was in. I was talking to Kalilo uh, about testing your preps, and I think the came across as like rotating your preps, but I was meaning more testing it, like, I don't know, turn the power off for a weekend and see how you handle it. Find the holes in your game, right? If you can't cook, clean, have running water, what are you doing with your food without your refrigerator? Can you, in the summer, can you stand it without the AC? In the winter, I mean, it's cold as heck today. It's like 2 degrees out there. Do you have a way to heat without electricity? I mean, that is more what I was saying about testing your preps, but yeah, EMP, I think that's the way. Hurricanes, yeah, I don't have hurricanes out here, thank goodness, but that's definitely one thing. 210 stacks. Good day, sir. Hope you're doing well. I was rooting for you on that giveaway, man. You were hanging in there. So yeah, I'm contemplating on trading silver or silver for gold, or just stop buying as much silver as I have been and focus more on spending that money on gold. I see both sides of it. You can trade your silver and get more gold faster, but for me, I believe in silver and gold both long term. So I don't know that I'm really agreeing with getting rid of one for the other, because ultimately I'd rather have both. And if you only go one direction, are you really playing the ratio as everyone thinks? You got to have the other side of that coin. If you trade all your silver for gold, isn't it just more of a, I guess, savings account at that point? Do I have good cash reserves? Uh, Not as good as I'd like. Um, I definitely have some. I don't have 3 to 6 months uh, in an emergency fund at that expense. I tend to look at my income as a source of emergency fund. And the reason why I can say that is I have, multiple forms of income coming in, so I'm not, solely reliant on one job. I have super low expenses as well. So my 3 to 6 months emergency fund, I don't really have that in cash per se, but I do have different flows of money coming in from different ways. But I, contrary to a lot of the financial advice out there, and by no means is this financial advice, but I have a lot of contributions to a Roth IRA. And worst case scenario, I like to look at my Roth IRA contributions as an emergency fund, because the contributions, not the gains, just the contributions, can be taken out at any time, tax free, penalty free, from a Roth IRA. So I have a substantial amount of money in my Roth IRA that are contributions. So as an emergency pops up, I could use that. But we were talking about prepping earlier, and one of the things about prepping is not only is it for all the different scenarios, but one of the scenarios that I prep for is loss of income or an injury, that I couldn't go to work. Right? If you have 3 months of food sitting there and you lose your job, you're not going to go hungry. Right? So as far as cash, not so much. I got a little bit here and there. This weekend I'm rewiring and doing a service panel for a guy, a small cabin. He's going to pay me in cash. So constantly making money other ways. That'll go right into the emergency fund. Pang, what's going on? How you doing today? Emerald received your mail, and he's going to put together a mail call vid this week. Sweet. Crawdaddy Stacks, hello. I got to get you out some swag. That's on my to-do list. I've been slacking lately. Yesterday, man, I got some supplies for that electrical job this weekend, and it felt like I was in a time warp. I left the house at 7:30, thought I'd be home by 1 or 2. I didn't get home until 5, and then I left immediately after that to go to my son's basketball game. And it was just, by the end of the day, everything got done, but it took a lot longer than what I expected, and it felt like it was half the day. But yeah, I don't know, just hanging out, trying to debate, what the next move is. I got a couple orders of silver supposed to be here today and tomorrow. Emerald Coast Stacker, I'm starting to liquidate several material goods around the house to contribute to my silver addiction, to include my childhood comic book collection. Yeah. My wife was getting on me this weekend about getting rid of some equipment that's just been sitting around. And she's thinking, I could sell it and she could do something with the money. I'm looking at some old equipment and converting it to ounces of gold and silver. Crawdaddy Sacks, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was trying to throw together a video on still buying silver at all-time highs, and I don't want to spoil it, but I think it'll be a different way from what I've heard people talking about it. So I'm looking forward to that. If the editing software decides to ever start working again. It's also, I don't know, some of you are in preparedness, but it's also the time of year to start doing your seeds, order your seeds and everything. And one of the things that I always like to do this time of year is look through the pamphlets from other nurseries and things like that that are sending them out trying to order. But a good tip if you're looking for fruit trees and fruit bushes for significantly underpriced, uh, your county's conservation district around this time of year is usually selling trees uh, at a steep discount. So I just put in a couple orders for that. Last week, the two counties around me participate, and I'm talking like you can get 6 foot tall fruit trees, 2 or 3 years old that are looking for like $25. You compare them online, and it's disgusting. You can find them for like 60, 70, $80. But it's a little pro tip there. Anybody's looking for fruit trees and fruit bushes, search your conservation district by county and see if they're offering up some cheap plants. This year was one of the better ones that they offered. They were doing shagbark hickories. You get 30 of them for $25. Now these ones are only like a foot or two tall, but still, oaks, shagbark hickories, pawpaws, like 30 of them for $25. Emerald Coast Stacker. I'm building my above ground containers this weekend. Should be interesting. Yeah, that's awesome. I can talk about fruit trees and fruit bushes for days. That's my other hobby outside of gold and silver. But it all ties back together. I mean, it's all sorts of, stacking and preparing. So, I mean, I think stacking, food and stuff is a great thing to do. But if let's say you have a year's worth of food stored up, what are you going to do on day 366, right? To me, I look at all that as just a runway to give me before I can get into production. So I think if you take preparedness, run it all the way out, you ultimately end up on a homestead, and that's kind of where I'm at in that cycle. Got my animals, fruit trees, fruit bushes, things like that. Sober Stacker, what's going on, man? Greg Olson, you did that for native fruit trees and bushes when you first moved here. Yeah, you went through the conservation district. It seems to be, for me, the best prices. And they also sell, trees that are good for your area, right? Your zones. Not that zones are the only thing that matters, because you can have some different climate controlled, different zones, like up against the south side of a building, right? You can raise it up basically by a zone or two. Greenhouses, so on and so forth. Yeah, basically fruit. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're talking, fruit and nut trees for dollars. Emerald Coast. I need to cross-reference what grows best in my zone, but I am looking to grow vegetables and some fruits, keeping birds and other. Yeah, I have fences around my garden. I have cages around my fruit trees. Some of them, the more desirable ones. As far as birds, I net a couple plants every year to keep things off of them, but my solution to that is I just have more fruits and vegetable trees, fruit trees and vegetable plants than what I need, and I leave some for them. Greg Olson, it's a good collection. Yeah, out of those I have elderberries, I have service berries, I have pawpaws, blueberries, peaches, Asian pears, regular pears, tons of apples, currants, all kind of different currants. Yeah, I like to, leave some of my trees unprotected, right? And my buddy, I joke with him like, he'll ask me, "Oh, what are you growing this year?" And it seemed last year, man, I had a real bad deer problem, so I told him I was growing deer, and let him come in and eat my plants and get them nice and thick and have some deer meat, raising some wild deer. You only do native? Yeah, I do both. I mix it up. Um, Contrary to some, like I have a nice pond that I dug that's spring fed, and to stop erosion, I put down lemon balm and mint. And everybody, oh, mint's gonna spread. Well, yeah, when it comes time to rely on my food, I prefer to grow things that grow like weeds. And native, I'm not I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but I think everything's native to the world, right? So where do you draw the line? I mean, I understand the argument. I'm not trying to offend you by any means, because I understand the argument, but it's also, when it comes down to it, I think with good management and stewardship, you can play a little loose with the native rules. Yeah. Oh yeah. I have chokecherry, elderberry, serviceberry, and crab apples all around my chicken coop that I intentionally planted there to feed them. Strawberries, got plenty of them. Yeah. Yeah, Greg Olson, I see what you're saying. Natural local environment. Um, 2 years ago, I put in a bunch of swales on my property because I live on a hillside. So we would get a lot of runoff coming down, the quad trails and everything like that. And I just put in some swales to capture that. Put in some smaller surface ponds. I'm rehydrating the land slowly over time, and it's definitely working because that was 2 years ago, and this fall, a new spring popped up below them, so it's something to look at too. Yeah, they don't mess with the leaves of the elderberries. They do like the fruit, but that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Um, I have more than enough for myself, and really, elderberries are really good for chickens, as they are for humans as well. Um, and it cuts down on chicken feed, right? Because one of the things that I'm always concerned about, and I grow probably 50% of the things that I grow, is to feed my animals. And if something happens where you can't to Tractor Supply and get chicken feed, right? What are you gonna do? Um, so I try to supplement as much as their food with I can, by growing it. Not just for myself, things that my family eats, but also grow food for my chickens and other animals that I have. Yeah, elderberry syrup daily, absolutely. It's definitely good stuff. The only thing I don't have yet are honeybees. The only thing that's holding me back there is I'm moderately allergic. So, but one day we'll have some honeybees. But I got enough neighbors that have them that I, thankfully I don't need them for pollination. So, yep, they are. Elderberries are in the tobacco nightshade, and once you get, one elderberry, it is very easy to multiply them. One of the things that I'm super into is propagating my own stuff. really, you just elderberry and currants. You just cut cut the branches into smaller pieces with some bud nodes on them and stick them in the ground. That's pretty much all you have to do for them. You'll have pretty good success that way. I'm excited for this spring to. I always like spring to see what's coming back and what's blooming. Uh, I'm excited to show my greenhouses. I took oh man, I think it's been 5 or 6 years ago now. Some of those fencing panels that are, what are they, 16 foot long, and you just make them into a hoop, build a little box frame around them, and I nailed them to the sides and put plastic over them, and they make great greenhouses, chicken coops, things like that, and they hold up very well. And if you put them, I want to say it's 7 foot apart, so a 7 foot wide box, and you put them end to end, like I'm saying, to arch them over, you end up with like 6 foot tall in the center. So the first year that I had them, I did like container gardening in them in the greenhouse, and then after that, I pulled the containers out and I had some fall down trees that I made, kind of like a raised bed out of the trees along the side. So you got a square, right? And you got the arch. So the doorway's on one side, and then down the other side, in like a U, I have raised beds. And it works out great because like I have strawberries as a ground cover for weed suppression, and then I have beans and cucumbers that grow up the south side of the greenhouse, so that in the summer that doesn't get too hot. And they use the cattle panel as a trellis, and the cucumbers and beans then hang down so it's easy to harvest. And then I can drop strings down as well to stake up my tomato plants. So it's a pretty cool system. Looking forward to showing that this summer, or this spring really, whenever I get started. And Coyote got 12 chickens and 3 turkeys. Well, at least you got the coyote. The only threats to my animals are bears and tiny weasels. Nothing else can get to them. Bears are very rare. Yeah, I have bears here. Raccoons have gotten into my chicken coop whenever I was late to closing the door on them. Yeah. Yeah, raccoon proof. Yeah, I I buried the welded wire under the ground, like a foot around the outside of it, and I'm constantly walking through checking to make sure there's no holes or anything in there. But the uh, the best thing that I found is I just set a trap every night and you know, control the population that way. Yep, yeah, and they'll dig. Foxes will dig too, so you gotta definitely stay on top of it. I'd like to get some turkeys. Had them before. My preference is with turkeys is if I would much rather prefer to butcher one turkey and get 25, 30 pounds of meat out of it as opposed to 4 or 5 chickens, 5 or 6 chickens to get the same amount of meat. So that's why I prefer turkeys over chickens, but can't beat the chicken eggs, that's for sure. Thanks, Emerald. I appreciate you stopping by. Hey, Matt. Yeah, I have plenty of wildlife around me. I just don't like them near my chicken coop. They can range on all the other property around me because I am in the middle of the woods, so I don't I don't I don't completely eradicate, but only the ones that come into the trap right next to the chicken coop, they're gone. If they want to live life down down by my orchard and eat the fallen fruit down there that's a decent bit of ways from the chicken coop, they are free to do that. But yeah, that's definitely a fan of fruit trees and bushes and gardening. I can talk about this stuff all day. It's definitely one of my interests. Learning stuff about that all the time. Last year, well, actually, yeah, last winter, I went to the Amish and I got like 50 pounds of peaches, and I saved all of the peach pits, and I built like a little air pruning seedling box. So it's just really it's just a square box, and I put hardware cloth on the bottom, filled it with dirt, and raised it up off the ground, sitting on some bricks. In the and then I put hardware cloth cage over top of it, and I planted 196 peach pits, and I got 74 of them to sprout. So, and then once this spring, I'll dig them up, raised box, if you will, and I'll plant them in the ground, and then I will graft some better named variety peaches and plums on top of it. At work, just stopping in. Well, thanks for stopping in, Matt. Appreciate it. Yeah, Pang, coyote hunting's pretty fun. Uh, we usually sit out in the woods with a call. We call them in. Skunks and smoke bombs. That sounds like a good time, Matt. You'll have to tell me about that one of these days. Yeah, unfortunately, in the woods, I'd really like to do, like them chicken tractors, where you move them every day. I'd really like to do that. Take them down to the greenhouses and let them have some warmth in the winter here, and also fertilize and basically natural till the soil and eat all the seeds and everything. But being on a hill in the woods doesn't work out very well. Thanks for stopping in, Crawdaddy. Ordinary man, hello. The extraordinary man, really appreciate you stopping by. We're just talking nonsense. Started debating about trading silver for gold. Really am just wondering why people don't just save their silver and buy the gold instead of less silver. But then it quickly got taken over to homesteading and chickens and turkeys and fruit trees and fruit bushes, which I'm also a huge fan of, so I don't mind talking about that either. Yeah, Greg, that would be the ideal, but unfortunately, I don't have flat enough ground, and not necessarily even flat ground. I don't have smooth enough ground, I guess, and then with trees and everything, it makes it even more difficult. But one of these days, I'm trying to find some property to buy. I want to eventually start my own greenhouse nursery. It specializes in selling edible fruit trees, edible perennials, really. Fruit trees, fruit bushes, herbs, things like that come back year after year. Yeah, Matt, I'm. I would be lying if I didn't say I was thinking about trading as well. I got some generic buffalo rounds that I bought around $30 each, and I'm thinking it would be nice to swap them for gold. But at the same time, I'm also thinking just buy less silver and save up for gold. And that way I don't have to trade it. Still get both. not much gold around here to trade. Everybody's doing it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about where I'm at because there's no local coin shops near me. I gotta go about an hour and a half for a coin shop. So that also adds some friction to it. Walter, I'm doing excellent today. I hope you are doing well as well. Uh, I didn't get down to the post office this morning, but you have my word. I will be down first thing tomorrow when they show up, uh, and I will be mailing that out to you first thing in the morning once they open. I got it sitting on my desk. Wanted to go this morning. We just got hammered with some bitter cold, as most people are. So the morning chores took a little extra time this morning, and I couldn't get down there before work. But tomorrow morning, we're squared away. It'll be in the mail on its way to you. Yeah, Greg, stacking mostly generic silver for trading purposes. Definitely a good idea. You know, and I've seen people getting rid of their less desirable silver for gold. I think that's a great idea. Even getting rid of their less desirable silver for more desirable silver. Um, I think also it is a pretty good idea. These high prices. Uh, for me, I never bought silver with intentions to trade it, and I guess that's just didn't think about it at the time. So, but I did buy a bunch of generic silver and 90% before I started buying, you know, the higher premium silver that I like. In the event that, you know, I call it my ugly silver. I have my ugly stash that will protect my other stuff, and that's how I look at it. Uh, so I don't, you know, it makes sense to me. Uh, but the friction of trying to find somebody to trade it, for me, I don't know. I just think I'd rather have it long term, and maybe I just will buy less silver and save the money up, and eventually buy some gold with it. Ooh, yeah, that's going to a show that far away. Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately what I'm gonna have to do if I want to get to a coin show, and I know I will eventually. Just gotta fit into the schedule. Usually winter's pretty slow for me, but I got a couple side jobs for electric that I'm working on that are in the way, and really busy with just everything else with life. Yes, silver has a hierarchy. At least it does in my stack, that's for sure. Um, and my video that I was working on earlier today, I talk about how silver is also diversified, right? You got 35%, 40%, 90%. You got bullion. You got sovereign coins, numismatic coins. And then even within that, you also are a little bit diversified with the different sizes. You know, there's different markets for 1 ounce bars than there are for kilo bars, and so on and so forth. So, not only hierarchy, but also diversification more than just the metal itself. Gold is 47.50. Yeah, I knew what you meant, sober. Happy early birthday, 210. Yeah, my long term is still out there. Being only 34, I got a ways to go yet. So for me, not really looking at parting with it if I don't have to. And I think in 30 years, I'm gonna wish I had both gold and silver. So I'm not quite ready to give up one for the other yet. Silver Dragoon, hello. What's going on, man? Still waiting on my silver delivery. It was supposed to be here, uh, but I think with the cold weather and the snow we got, a little delayed. Sure, it's coming. Greg Olson, you got to get down to the post office. Bunch of silver eagles to pick up. Heck yeah, that's awesome. Good for you. I have exactly one silver eagle that I got from the Punisher stacker, and it's a beautiful coin. Just I don't know. I might get more. I can't really justify paying the premium on them right now because I'm not really saving a bunch for. Not really stacking them for the premium sake. I'd rather have the weight as I, share a desk full of high premium stuff or higher premium stuff. Oh no, Silver Dragoon. That's not good. Hopefully you bought it somewhere where you can get some, get a remedy for that. That is a Buffalo proof. Yeah. A funny thing about that is that Buffalo proof was actually a courtesy upgrade, if you will. I bought it from one of the bigger online dealers, and I bought just a regular Buffalo for comparison there. I bought a regular Buffalo. I opened it up, and it was a little note that said they upgraded me to a proof on the house. And at first, I didn't really know how to take it. Part of me was like, man, I just kind of wanted what I ordered. And that's because I don't really prefer the Buffalo proof versus the regular Buffalo. And that's just me. I mean, I know that maybe I'm different. So, in my mind, I'm going to leave him Indian side up. And he's the chief Indian overlooking the herd of buffaloes that I'll eventually have. And I'll leave the regular buffaloes buffalo side up and the proof Indian side up. Because the Indian side is definitely cooler than the regular side. But yeah, they are different. Really, the reverse proof is the neat one. I don't think I'll ever get one of them. But maybe come across the deal for it, or maybe I'll just get courtesy upgraded again, like that one. Oh, you got two of them at the same time and didn't know which one you got. Yeah, that's blame him. Yeah, and then I got this little quarter buffalo as well, from Canada. It's pretty nice. I'm a big fan of that. This was one of my more recent purchases. I got it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, I do like that. Sober stacker breaks thumbs for cheap. Love it. Sometimes the world needs some broken thumbs. Standard Buffalo looks awesome. Yeah, the Standard Buffalo, again, specifically the Buffalo side, I personally think looks better. Now, you can tell me I'm wrong if you want. That's fine. Everybody's got their own entitled to their own wrong opinion. But the Standard Buffalo, I think, looks way better than the Proof Buffalo. But the Indian head, I think, looks way better on the proof. So, yeah, the two sides of the same coin, right? But yeah, I like that. Small gold problems. Yeah. Pang, that's funny. Ordinary man, the proof buffalo has a weird bumpy surface on the fields. Yeah, it just, I don't know, it doesn't look as nice to me. And it's all preference. But whenever I first got it, I was like kind of disappointed. It's kind of growing on me. I appreciate the gesture. So I still don't really know how I feel about it. At the end of the day, gold is gold, so I'm not too worried about it. Hey, Jammies. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, I liked him too. Whenever I saw him, I had to get him. It's got the queen on the back, but we don't really care about that side. So, quarter ounce. It wasn't in the plan. It was kind of a spur of the moment decision. Actually, whenever I bought it, I immediately had to go down to the bank and deposit the money for it to cover my check that I wrote for the quarterly taxes. So it was at the beginning of the month I got that. Yeah, yeah, first world problem. Yeah, for sure. Uh, like I said, gold's gold at the end of the day for me, so it's it's growing on me. If I leave it the Indian side up, um, I'll keep it. Hey, regular one is better, but I don't have one, so yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm thankful I have one of each to compare. One day I'll get the reverse proof and be able to compare all three. Silver Dragoon. Buddy of mine got a 1 ounce platinum two-door beast coin. Didn't even know they did the Queen's Beast. Yeah, I did know that, but I don't know that I've seen the one that you're talking about. Um, but they are neat. I'm a softie for RCM. You are. You like your RCMs, Jammies. 10 ounce Eagle bar. Yeah, that would be cool. I uh I enjoyed your short of the different size bars. That's one of the things that uh on my want list. I know the Aztec bar comes in a couple different sizes. I got a Den of Thieves 1 ounce bar coming, and that I know has a 10 ounce bar that I want to get. I kind of see them as a set, but now that Dragoon has told me the American flag bars here come in grams, I got to track one of them down, to quote unquote complete that set. And then that one will be done. The Vortex, I think, is complete. I haven't seen a gram Vortex, but I'm sure if they're out there, Silver Dragoon will find it and put it on a video, and then I'll have to get it. Oh, Dragoon, you don't have to do that. I would appreciate it, but you don't have to do that. Yeah. So the Aztec bar, and I think they come in both 5 ounce and ounce. And the Den of Thieves bar that I'm getting should have been here a couple hours ago, but I think they're delayed. Uh, Comes in a 10 ounce. I want to get one of them to finish that set. I just like the different sizes of the same bar. I think they look nice. Thanks, Dragoon. You're too nice. I appreciate it. I really want some fractional American bison or buffaloes, so I don't have to go up to the Canadians, eh? I'm too far south to support Canada like Jammies does. Yeah, those 5 ounce Aztec rounds. I've seen the rounds. I think Kalilo has one. They are pretty neat. I do like them. If I got into the rounds, that would really expand everything that I need. Actually, these two here, they're the same. Well, I don't want to say the same design because these stars are a little bit different, but they're both American flags. But the backs are different. This has a flag with an eagle on it, and this one is just the Troy ounce back, but really close to the front. So I leave this one like that. That one goes with that set. Stars on this guy here are indented, if you will, and this one here, they are raised and almost like a gloss finish, or matte finish, I guess, not a gloss. Incuse, is that the word? Thanks, Matt, for hitting the like button. I appreciate you. Do a quick check on prices. Silver's at $94.20. Trying to get over that $95.50. Hit it briefly this morning and got knocked back down. Gold still around $47.56. Both of them are up. Can't complain about that. Unless you're like me and still trying to buy. then you can complain. Oh no. Just lost the chat. Let me pull it back up. And we're back. Technology is fighting me today, that's for sure. Stars at night, big and bright. Matt, yeah. Yeah, this 20 gram. So, I didn't naively. I had no idea they even made 20 gram bars. And when I went to my not so local coin shop, I bought a bunch of stuff, and I think the total came to $792, and I gave him $800, and he said, "Oh, I don't have change. Would you take fractional silver instead of cash?" I'm thinking, well, yeah, why not? I'm here to buy silver, so I'll take silver for my change. So he pulled out this 20 gram bar, and he's like, "I'll give it to you for the 8 that I owe you and $20." And I was like, well, that's a deal. So I think spot price was around $68, give or take, somewhere around there. So I looked at this as, I either got this for like 43 an ounce, if you will, or the way that I chose to look at it is the total price. This dropped the total price by like $1.50 an ounce. So yeah, I was pretty excited about that. I was like, man, change for fractional silver? Who would have thought? I was like blown away. Yeah, opened my eyes to that strategy. I was like, thought that was pretty neat. But yeah, and it was super toned. It's not really coming through on the camera, but when you hit it just right, the lettering around the grams is actually looks like an oil slick with water. It's got like that purple rainbow, but for some reason I can't get it to come through on the camera. You'll just have to trust me on that one. And it's from Silver Mint on the back. Um, 210 stacks. That gram is part of a 24-piece set. Really? I'll have to look that up later because I know nothing about it other than, you know, it's 999 silver. 24-piece set. Did you not hear that I have a problem stacking sets? I gotta go and get 23 more pieces. Thank you for that information. I don't know what to do with it other than go searching for the other 23 pieces. And then I really don't remember ordering this 1-ounce penny tribute. I don't know why I got it. It's I did. So it's sitting there. Not really sure what happened there. Every time, yeah, after a collection, I start another one. Yeah, I definitely understand that. So whenever I first got my first Buffalo, 1-ounce Buffalo, which was just back in 2024, November 2024, I, for some reason, thought I was going to be able to afford 20 of them. So I got a 20 pack of capsules. So now I have 17 empty capsules sitting there, just reminding me of my crushed hopes and dreams. So one day they'll fill, but how naive I was, thinking, oh yeah, we'll be able to slowly get 20 of them. At this rate, it'll be another 18 years because I've gotten a Buffalo every year, and that's it for the whole 2 years I've been stacking. Talking like it's some sort of history there. Not really. But, all right, I am gonna probably get going. I got a couple things to do here around the homestead before the sun goes down. Gotta get dinner started for the wife. I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out. It's just an impromptu live because I was frustrated with the editing software. Figured go live instead. At least I'm still quote unquote productive. Everyone, have a wonderful evening. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you all. And probably see you in the comments channel here later tonight. Have a good one. Enjoy yourselves.